Okay, good morning in there and good night here. Okay, so how are you? And Mira, you are good. And how about your family there?
Yeah, I'm doing good. I'm here in Fort McMurray. My family's actually in Vancouver. So they're living away, but yeah, we're all doing good. And how
Alhamdulillah.
about you? How about you?
Okay, Alhamdulillah, I'm doing good here too. So most of jobs and activity are doing are from home, right? We can do it from home. So
Yeah,
Kwan, you are taking mining engineer for master or bachelor degree.
I took it for my bachelor's and I graduated in 2019.
I see. So you are, I mean, you senior high school in Philippines, or I mean, like, I see you are from Philippines or from where? Sorry.
I'm actually from Canada. I grew up, spent most of my time growing up in Canada. Yeah.
I see. Also, you are grow up in Canada, not from Asia or from outside Canada.
I did spend 5 years in Hong Kong
Mm-hmm.
before moving to Canada. Yeah.
So you are taking senior or junior high school in Canada, right? Or in
Yeah.
another country?
Yeah, I did my primary school, or sorry, yeah, primary
Mm.
school and kindergarten, I think, in Hong Kong, and then the rest is in Canada.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay. So good night, everyone, and good morning in Canada. Now we will Kepoin means getting know more about something. Yeah.
Sure.
Oke, halo teman-teman semuanya. Kita malam ini ada Kwan dan kita bakal kepoin mining engineer. Halo Kwan, can you introduce yourself first?
Sure. Yeah, my name is Kwan Fang. I'm a mining engineering graduate from UBC in 2019. And then I've been working in the Canadian oil sands mining industry as a mine planning engineer in multiple different roles. So I've done some roles in tailings planning, in mine planning. Um, yeah, and currently I'm working at Suncor Energy as a placement planner in the tactical planning team. So that's what my role currently is. And I do have a YouTube channel where I talk about mining engineering as a career. So that channel is Kwan_FVNG.
Okay,
That's my
don't
channel.
forget to watch his YouTube channel for more details about mining engineer. So now, did you apply in another campus?
Uh, yeah, so because I live in Vancouver, I just applied to the two closest university, which was the University of British Columbia and Simon Fraser University. And obviously, I want to get into UBC because it was a bigger campus. There's more opportunities, and it was higher ranked. So yeah, I did apply to multiple universities, but really, I just wanted to go into UBC.
Okay, so that you are just applied one time and that you get acceptance on there, or you apply many times there.
I applied just one time. Yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
congrats. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
Kwan, you are living, I mean, your junior and senior high school in Canada, right? Not from,
Yes.
okay. So if your friends, or do you have friends that from outside Canada or from Asia that want to taking in UBC, University of British Columbia? Is there any requirement like TOEFL or should be from uh, natural science background, anything else like that?
Yeah, I do have a few friends that were international students. I think actually one was from Indonesia. I just don't know if they applied directly from Indonesia or if they spent some time in Canada first. Uh, yeah, and a few friends that are from like China, South Korea. Uh, but since I was a domestic student, like I applied from Vancouver, I'm not totally sure about the international requirements. I do think you need to have some certain meet a certain level of English proficiency. Um, and then you typically want to have some education in science and math.
Mm-hmm. So, for example, then, I'm from Canada too, so I'm from social science background. Can I take mining engineer or can I?
Yeah, so depends. Social science background, is that like your bachelor's degree or is that just like a course that you took?
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, like in Indonesia, there's a specific like technical technical major that we want to take it. So we should from natural science background. If we are from social science, we can to choose it. Are it's the same requirement on there or not?
Okay. I wouldn't say it's impossible, but it probably helps to have science and math. But generally, mining engineering, I think they will accept people from all backgrounds. Especially if you're going to bachelor's, because in Canada, we don't have like a specific major when you're in high school. Like for example, in high school, I just took like a bunch of courses. I took courses in math, physics, in history. I took a language course in Mandarin. So we have like a whole bunch of backgrounds. Probably some people take like business courses and they can still get into engineering. But if you're wanting to apply for a master's in Canada, that's when it's really important to come from a physics or math background or engineering background.
Okay, so for taking mining engineer, so it's from your experience, right? Uh, we should to, I mean, based on math and physics, or in here in mining engineer, we can learn it from first from zero.
So your question was, do you
Okay,
need to have a science and math background?
I mean like yeah, we need to have a good basic of math and physics for taking mining engineer for, or we can learn it from zero in this major.
I don't think you can learn it from zero because at least in the Canadian universities for mining engineering, you need to pass a certain level of math and I think science as well in order to be accepted into the mining program.
I see. So we need to be clever. I mean, like not really don't know about math. We need to have basic about math and physics, right?
Yeah, you need to have some basic understanding of math and physics in order to get accepted into the program. Because once you get into the program, you need those foundations to learn about more advanced math and physics like calculus.
I see. Okay. So talking about mining engineer, is it the new program? I mean, new major in UBC or in Canada, or is it not really new in there?
No, I think it might be like one of the oldest majors in Canada actually for engineering. Yeah, we've been around for a long time.
Okay. How about the tuition fee on their
Yeah,
BC?
I can talk about tuition fee. So it actually differs between domestic students, so students that are from Canada, and international students. For me, and also tuition fee changes every year. I think it increases at 2% every year. So when I first started, I was in 2013, and then I graduated in 2019. So tuition fees on average, I think it was around 7,000 Canadian dollars for domestic students per year. So if you multiply it times roughly 4 years, 4 years is the requirements of the academic program. I took 6 because I did 2 years of work experience. So 7,000 times 4, roughly around 30,000 for the entire degree. For international students, it's actually around like 4 to 5 times as much, I think, per year. So like international students, you're looking at $28,000 to $35,000 per year in Canadian dollars for a degree. So it's a lot more expensive.
So it's more expensive if we are from outside Canada, right?
Yes, yeah.
Oh, okay. So, I mean, like, if we are from Canada, I mean, I living in Canada, but I'm not Canadian. Is it the same tuition fee or?
Yeah, I think you would still qualify as a domestic student. Yeah.
Even I'm not a Canadian. I mean, I have a Canada ID.
Yeah, you have a is it the permanent residence that you have, or what
Mm,
is it? Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
I
yeah.
then I think you would still qualify as domestic. I'm not totally sure, but I think you do.
Okay, so, uh, mm,
Which part
for
of Canada are you from? Like do you live near the university?
okay, I'm from Indonesia, Kwan.
Okay. But if you are I was gonna mention like there's living fees that I didn't talk about. So like if you're international, obviously, or I guess like you probably don't have someone that you could live with when you're studying. So for me, like because when I was studying, I was living with my parents. I don't have that living fee, but if you want to live on campus, or if you're international students and you come to Canada, then you need to find a place to live. So that's going to
Mm,
increase your overall tuition fee as well.
I see. So, is there any scholarship to get in UBC or I mean, from the UBC
There
itself?
is, yeah, you just have to be a, I don't know, you have to have very good grades, very good extracurricular activities, because it's all mostly based on merit. There's some grants where if you are from this certain demographic, then they'll just give it to you. But usually for scholarships, which are the bigger amounts, you just have to have a very good academic profile
Mm-hmm.
and extracurriculars as well.
I see. Okay, so for you, is it expensive for say $7,000 for getting mining engineer major?
Like, is the degree expensive, you mean?
Yeah, for your
Um,
tuition fee.
like my parents helped me a little bit in first year. And I was like working a little bit before I started my degree. So I had a little bit of savings. But what helped me the most was doing my 2 years of work experience. From that, I got enough money to pay off my student loans. So I took out some student loans, I think in like first and second year. Um, I took out like maybe 3 or 4 thousand, I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
But by the time I was like in my third and fourth year, I already paid it off, and I was just banking money into my savings account.
Mm-hmm. I see. Okay. I'm sorry, Kwan, that I'm asking like uh, in Indonesia here or in Asia, if we are getting college or university, we are still paying by our parents. So in America or in Canada especially, is there is I mean a culture there, so every children should pay uh, tuition fee by themselves.
Um, I guess it depends on like your family background. Like let's just say if I didn't have those co-op jobs, my parents would probably help me like in paying some of my tuition fees, and they did in first year. But yeah, it really depends on your family background.
Okay, so I have heard some there in America or in not in Asia that everyone wants to go into campus at college or university, they should pay off their self, not from parents. Is it true or no?
I don't think so. I mean, I think most people take out student loans.
Mm-hmm.
That's what helped them, because yeah, it is an expensive fee to pay up front. And then I guess like for more, like if you're from like an Asian background, typically your parents would help you. But if you're not, I do you think like some people like their parents won't help them. But yeah, it really depends on your individual circumstances. So yeah.
Okay. No, lecture in UBC.
Oh, like how's it living? How's it living like in UBC?
Yeah, the lecture, the
Oh, the
subject, the
lecture.
facility.
Yeah, so like UBC is located in Vancouver and it's known for its beautiful scenery. So I have a lot of friends that are not from UBC and they're from like other parts in Canada. And whenever they come to Vancouver to visit, they're always surprised by like how beautiful it is in Vancouver. But that's only during the summertime. In the fall and winter, it actually rains a lot. That's just the region that we're living in. For facility wise, overall, the school has a lot of funding. Some of her tuition fee goes towards funding those buildings. The mining engineering building itself is not as new, but we do have a lot of good facilities and equipment. We have a mineral processing lab, we have a computer lab with lots of software. And then for the lecturers, at the like it might change year to year, but when I was studying, we have some pretty good professors. Some professors, or as most professors, have some work experience or they have a lot of research experience background. Um, One professor I remember, he was actually one of the lead investigators in the Mount Poly dam failure. So he's a very well-known professor or person in his field of research, which was in tailings dam. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Uh,
It's just like in Canada, at least I think, maybe in the US as well. But like for engineering programs at the university level, all your first year courses, especially the math and physics, um, the like class average is like 66. I don't know, like something in the mid 60%. And it's not uncommon for like the class average for midterms to be like in the 30 or 40%. So it's like you study really hard and like everyone like fails.
mm,
So that's not uncommon. It's actually pretty common.
okay. So if we are fail, we should to taking it the course again. I mean the subject again, or
So
or.
it's actually maybe just the midterm. It's not the overall course. Like they make
Mm,
the midterms really hard, but you can make it up in the final exam or the or just like homework assignments. And what they actually do is like they grade you on a curve.
mhm,
So even if you get like 30% on the test, um, because like everyone else got like 30%, your final mark may be like 60 or 70%.
okay. So now we are getting to mining engineer. So what things are you studied in mining engineer?
Yeah, so for a 4-year course, and it's probably very similar across all universities in Canada. In first year, you take your foundational physics and math. So that's like calculus, um, physics and like electromagnetism, thermodynamics, some chemistry courses. There's an English writing course, coding course. So that's like your foundational year. That's your first year. In second year, you take pretty much the same thing, but just more advanced. And then you have a little bit of mining courses. So like maybe like introduction to mining, introduction to mineralogy. That's your second year. And then in your third year, you go a little bit more advanced into the mining stuff. And maybe you still have one or two like basic physics courses that you need to take. So the third year courses would be something like physical processing. So how do you process your metals and ores? There's a flotation course. I think there's a blasting course as well. So you get a little bit more specific into mining engineering. And then in your fourth year, you go even more in depth. So maybe I remember this course in like designing mine waste facilities, mine water management. What else? I took some courses in like mineral economics because I thought that was interesting. Um, yeah, so, and that's when you start going into your elective classes, and that's when you get to customize your degrees into what you're particularly passionate about.
So there will be a concentration again if we pass that fourth semester, right?
You don't have to pass it. I think you just have to select the courses that you want, and then you get that like major, or
I
sorry, that like specialization in your degree. And I
okay.
do talk more in depth about like more of these courses in my YouTube channel. I have two videos that talk about like first and second year mining engineering and
Okay.
third and fourth year.
Yeah. Okay, friends. You have to watch Kwan Fang YouTube channel. It is so clear and details about mining engineer. And now, I mean the specialization and the concentration. There, how much concentration and specialization? Like if we have passed the first semester.
For mining engineering, I don't think it's like based on a pass fail to get into the concentration. Yeah, I don't think you just have to select the electives to match the specialization.
No, I mean like if we our grade, I mean our score, subject score, so we can freely to choose the specialization, or we are limited based on our score. I mean like our score.
Oh, like to get into mining engineering?
No, for taking specialization, I mean, if I'm from management, I will taking for specialization. That's
Yeah.
I should get grades 7 and 8. So if I don't get that grades, I just can choose for marketing or human resource like that. Is there any requirement there for taking the specialization?
No, not for specializations, but there is a requirement to get into mining engineering, but not for specializations within mining engineering.
I see. So what is the most hardest subject in mining engineers one?
It depends on the person, but I found mechanics of materials to be hardest. It's a physics course. That's more, I guess it's more on the like the mechanical engineering side, but that was the course I found the hardest.
I see. Okay, so I heard that you are learn about coding too, right?
Yeah.
Coding here means you will learn about. I mean the coding you will use in mining engineering. What part in mining engineering that you use coding?
So I would say like it's not a requirement to know coding, but if you really want to customize the mining engineering softwares that you use, so that could be like Vulkan, Deswik, Mindscape, Mindsites. If you want to customize how you use those programs, then you need to know some coding basics. Or like if you want to write macros in Excel, then you need to know VBA. And if you learn one coding language, it's somewhat transferable with all the other coding languages. But it's not like a requirement to say you have to know this coding language in order to get a job. It's just something that's additional, that's nice to have.
So it's not a must, right?
It's not, no.
Okay, so I see that you are learn or taking that coding, right? They
It's
can.
it's a must to get your degree, but not a must to get a job.
I see. So from your course that what is coding used in mining engineer? I mean, like for searching the place that has good for oils or anything.
Typically, we don't typically use coding for that. Because when you graduate, usually you get a job in mine planning, and you just use the software that's provided, and you don't need to learn coding in order to use those. But if you want to like be more advanced and customize how to use the program, then that's when you would use programming skills.
I see. So you are from mining engineering, not building or not develop the software. You just use the
Yeah,
software provided from company.
yeah. But if you want to, you can go into those like mine planning software companies and work as a software engineer. And that's it'll be really good because you have the mining background and coding background, then you'll be a
Mm,
really strong candidate. But that's a rare percentage of the mining graduate population.
okay, I see. So um, that you are in coding. That coding, I see you learn about Python, Excel, and Python, Excel VBA, right?
We actually just learn C in our
Mm,
university. Yeah.
okay.
It might
So
change between like schools, but for me, when I was studying at UBC, it was just C.
okay. This the program take for 4 years
Hmm.
or five or anything.
Yeah, it could be four. So like you need to take 4 years, 2 semester each year. But you can lengthen that if you do co-op work terms, which is what I did. So I still took 4 years worth of courses, but I didn't graduate until like 6 years out because 2 of those years I was doing work terms. I was working somewhere else.
Okay. The it is you work from campus. You get the jobs from campus or you search by yourself.
We have a co-op program, and the co-op program, they sort of help, but really you have to look for the job yourself. They won't place you into a job. You have to apply for a job. But the co-op program, what they do is they help you maybe like look over your resume, look over your cover letter, do some practice interviews with you. But ultimately, you're still responsible for looking for the job.
I mean, like, is that a internship or the yeah internship from campus or that is you want to search for jobs for yourself?
Search for the job for yourself.
I see. So what is the others, the general in there?
What's the what?
The general in there, are they taking exactly 4 years or not? It will be to 5 years or 6 years because it's mining engineering. It's not easy.
Yeah, I think most people want to do the work experience, so it's like 5 years. I would say is the normal.
hmm Is there someone can fix it in 4 years?
Yeah, you certainly can. You just don't have work experience, but I highly recommend against that because work experience is the most valuable thing for employers.
I see. So
Yeah.
I mean, like, um, that is a part-time or internship or a full-time when you are getting job. I mean, like, you must to fix your, I mean, must to fulfill your course too in campus, right?
Yeah. So it'll be a full-time job. What do you actually do? Let's just say if I was doing a co-op, I finished my first semester of studying, I finished my second semester of studying. Then for the next, like, for example, it could be 12 months. I don't take any courses. And then I just do work. Uh, yeah, I do work for the internship.
I see. So in the same time or in you will not taking the course.
I will not take the course.
I see. Is it okay from campus and you still to pay the tuition fee or not?
Yeah, it's definitely okay for campus. That's what the co-op program is for. Um, for fees wise, I think
Oh,
you just pay very little. Yeah, it's like maybe two. I can't remember what. Yeah, for the co-op fee, I think it was like $700 Canadian per semester per work term semester. Yeah,
okay. So you can, I mean, like, you can do the jobs and the same time with your core, I mean, with your campus, right?
yeah.
Campus. I see. Is it good for taking mining engineering for our job prospect?
Yeah, so that largely depends on the job market afterwards and where you want to work. So for example, like countries like Canada, Australia, like those countries, we have lots of mining opportunities. So it's easier to get a job. I know Indonesia has some mining too. But yeah, it largely depends on where you're looking to apply to work. And it also depends on, unfortunately, it depends on like the time that you graduate. So like if you graduate into a recession, then it's going to be a lot harder to find jobs than versus if you graduate into like, I don't know, the peak time of the mining cycle. So like, the timing of the market matters as well. And that's just the nature of the mining industry.
I see. I mean, like if I want to be a mining engineer, so I just want to the manage. I just want to do the management task. I don't want to go to the field. Is it fine? Is it okay?
So here is what's typically the situation. It's like typically in order to work in the management, you need some field experience. Typically that's like what's required. But if you don't want to work into the field and you don't have the experience to go into management, there is alternatives that you can do. For example, like long range mine planning. What else? You could do maybe like non-engineering related tasks. So like, I don't know, you could do like maybe finance stuff, computer programming stuff, so that you don't have to work in the field. So that's a possibility as well. But typically having field experience is the most valuable
I
in order
see.
to get accepted into these other jobs.
I see. So basically, in Indonesia, or in Asia, mining company and others, it will hard to get in. So we must
Mhm.
have self experience. Is it the same in Canada?
Oh yeah, you definitely want to have experience.
So that's why you are taking works before you pass your.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's why, yeah, I did like 2 years of work experience before I even graduated.
I see. So it is your work experience in fields of mining engineer or in others.
Yeah, it was in mining engineering.
So if we are not having experience before, we can. What is a job that we can take for got the experience? I mean, like we are in college, right? But
Yeah.
we have enough experience. So what kind of job that we can get?
And then so that you can work in mining engineering afterwards.
Yes.
Um, Typically like anything that's like earth science related. So I don't know, maybe like a civil engineering job,
Mm,
like surveying, something like that, or even a labor job. Yeah. But yeah, typically like mining field experience in particular is the best.
I see. So how much the salary of mining engineer, is it 2 digits or anything?
It depends.
On the
Yeah, it
company?
depends on the company, on the commodity that you work for. I can speak in general to like a graduate salary for Canadian mining engineers. It ranges from like 60,000 to 80,000 Canadian dollars per year for salary. But that's not including anything like bonuses, relocation fees, stuff like that.
Okay, is it a good? Is it a big or not? I mean, in your salary. I mean, in your currency.
60 to $80,000. Yeah, it's pretty good for a new graduate.
I see. Wow.
Yeah.
And
It's
yeah,
like for in
yeah.
terms of like salaries, like for my I guess like overall, at least in like North America, it's probably like one of the best paying jobs you can get relative to the hours that you can work. So like with just a 4-year degree, I'm thinking like the highest paying job would be like anything that's like software engineering at like Facebook, Amazon, Google. Those would definitely be like the highest paying jobs. Afterwards would be something like working in finance, for example, like investment banking. They'll pay higher than mining engineering, but you also work like maybe double the hours. So if you convert that to dollars per hour, mining engineering is probably higher paying in that term. But overall, because you work more hours, like investment banking, you make more. And then afterwards, it's probably between like oil and gas engineering or mining engineering. That's how high I would rank it.
Okay, so yours talk about oil and gas engineering. Is it different with mining?
Yeah, it's different. Because with mining engineering, you're dealing with more like the equipment that you're using is different. You're using shovels and trucks, but for oil and gas, there's like multiple types of oil and gas. It typically deals with like in situ oil and gas. Yeah, so I would consider it as like a completely separate discipline.
Mm. I guess mining itself means mining and oil and gas. Is it different?
Yeah, it's different.
Oh, I think it is the same because mining is in here means pertambangan, tambang, right?
Yeah.
Oil and gas is one of the mining products. Is it true?
Mining is one of the oil products. Maybe
Yeah.
like in my situation it is, because I work in the oil sands industry where we do actually mine out the oil with trucks and shovels. But like typically when you are referring to oil and gas, you're referring to like drill rigs, which we don't, yeah, with like, yeah, just the extraction method is different typically.
Oh, I mean like mining products is oil and gas, isn't it? Or
No, mining would be like you mine out like copper, gold.
I see.
Yeah, it's
So
different.
I see, I see. So I think that mining products, one of mining products are oil and gas. So it's different, right?
Most cases, yes. Unless you work in the oil sands, then you use mining methods to mine out oil. But typically, mining is just like hard rock, like gold, copper, silver. What else? Coal. But yeah, it's different.
A suggestion like for our junior that they're confused to taking subject or major in their college or university.
Yeah, definitely take your math and physics courses. Try to do well on those because that's your foundation for the rest of your degree. But like, are you asking also for suggestions for like what mining courses to take?
I mean, like, yeah, like you don't need to take it because it's hard, it's difficult for you, or yeah, if you are not really good in math or physics, you can do it. You can learn it from zero because the environment and your friend will help you, and your lecturer will help you.
So courses that you shouldn't take. The mining engineering degree is actually pretty structured. So like, I think like up until third year, like you probably have to take the required courses. Like you can't, there's not a lot of options to choose. And in your fourth year, you have electives. From that, I would say like, I guess it depends on maybe your school because like some courses are easier, some courses are harder depending on the professor. But I would say like geostatistic modeling, that's probably like one of the hardest courses that you can take for your elective. So yeah, unless you're really passionate about that, I would say avoid that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Kwan, for
Yep.
your time and your information sharing about mining engineering. And thank you. Stay safe there and bye.
Thank you. Have a good
Okay.
rest of your day too, Janisha.
Yeah, thank you, Kwan.
Bye
Bye.
bye.